Sometimes the most dangerous traps aren't set by criminals, but by those sworn to protect. This is not just one woman's story. It's a mirror of a deeper truth, one too many have lived through. Tonight, you'll see how one ordinary drive turned into a nightmare, and how a single moment changed everything. She thought it was just another ordinary drive. But when flashing lights appeared in her rearview mirror, everything changed. A routine stop turned into something darker, something meant to trap her. Within seconds, an officer's hand slipped a mysterious bag into her car, and suddenly her freedom and her dignity were on the line. But what the officer didn't know was that she carried something far more powerful than fear. The question is, who would walk away in handcuffs? The woman he tried to frame, or the man hiding a secret of his own? It was supposed to be a quiet evening. Maya, a young professional, had just left her shift and was eager to get home. She loved these drives, the hum of the engine, the familiar streets, the thought of dinner waiting in her small but cozy apartment. To anyone watching, she was just another woman heading home after a long day. But beneath that calm routine was a quiet strength. Maya had worked hard for everything she owned, pushing through obstacles most people never had to face. She carried herself with dignity, never asking for pity, only respect. And though she tried not to think about it, she knew that being a black woman meant the world often saw her differently, more harshly, more suspiciously. That night, the streets were unusually empty. The glow of passing streetlights flickered against her windshield. She didn't notice the patrol car slipping in behind her. She didn't see the officer's eyes studying her every move, searching for a reason to stop her. To Maya, this was just another drive home. To the officer tailing her, it was an opportunity. An opportunity to turn an innocent woman's life upside down. What Maya couldn't know was that her ordinary night was about to collide with extraordinary injustice, and when it did, the mask of authority would crack, and the truth would spill out. The patrol car's lights suddenly flashed, flooding the dark street in red and blue. Maya's heart jumped. She wasn't speeding. She hadn't missed a signal. Still, she eased her car to the side, her hands gripping the wheel tighter than she wanted to admit. The officer approached slowly, his boots echoing against the pavement. His face was expressionless, but his eyes carried something colder, something that wasn't just about enforcing the law. Maya rolled down her window, her voice steady but cautious. "Is there a problem, officer?" He didn't answer at first. Instead, he circled her car, peering through the glass like a hunter sizing up prey. Then, leaning in close, he asked for her license and registration. She complied, every movement measured, her pulse quickening. He glanced at her documents but seemed uninterested, tossing them back toward her seat with a smirk. Moments later, his hand brushed against something at his side. When he leaned in again, Maya caught a glimpse of it, a small black bag. With casual precision, he slipped it onto the floor of her back seat. Her stomach dropped. She had seen enough news stories to know what this meant. A planted bag, a setup. Her breath came shallow as the officer straightened, his voice suddenly louder, commanding. "Step out of the car!" Fear clawed at her chest, but so did anger. She had done nothing wrong. She wanted to shout, to call for help, but who would believe her? On this empty street, his word would outweigh hers. She stepped out slowly, the night air sharp against her skin. The officer motioned toward the back seat, his voice dripping with false triumph. "Looks like we've got a problem here." Maya's mind raced. If he opened that bag, if he claimed it was hers, everything she had worked for could vanish. Her job, her reputation, her freedom, it all hung on the edge of his lie. The silence between them stretched, heavy with danger. The officer's smirk widened, as if victory was already his. But beneath Maya's fear, something else stirred. She wasn't powerless. She had something he could never anticipate, and in just moments, the tables were about to turn. The officer leaned closer. Flashlight. Beam cutting across Maya's face. His hand hovered near the bag in the back seat, as if waiting for the perfect moment to announce his discovery. Every muscle in Maya's body screamed with tension. Her voice caught in her throat. She knew what was coming. The accusation, the cuffs, the headlines branding her as something she was not. The officer's smirk sharpened. "Well, well, what do we have here?" His tone was dripping with false certainty, already convicting her in his mind. Maya's chest tightened. Her career, her freedom, even her safety. All of it balanced on this single moment. But instead of breaking, she reached slowly into her purse. The officer stiffened, one hand twitching toward his holster. Maya froze, then pulled out a small, leather wallet. From it, she revealed a badge, a federal badge. The air shifted. The confidence on the officer's face faltered, confusion cracking through his arrogance. His eyes darted from the badge to her face, searching for a bluff. But there was none. Maya's voice was steady now, firm in a way that left no room for doubt. "Funny thing about planting evidence," she said softly, holding the badge high. "It becomes a lot harder when the person you're framing has federal clearance." The color drained from his face. He stumbled back a step, words failing him. For the first time that night, it wasn't Maya who looked trapped. It was him. The authority he thought he owned crumbled beneath the weight of her truth. The silence that followed was suffocating. The street seemed to hold its breath, waiting for what came next, and in that frozen moment, the hunter became the hunted. The officer's silence spoke louder than any excuse he could have given. His smirk was gone, replaced by the pale realization that his authority had slipped through his fingers. For a moment, he looked smaller than the uniform he wore, exposed, vulnerable, cornered by his own corruption. Maya didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. The badge in her hand was proof enough, but the strength in her eyes was what truly dismantled him. She documented everything, his actions, his attempt, the planted bag. By the time backup arrived, it wasn't her integrity on trial. It was his. That night ended with Maya driving away. Free. But freedom didn't mean forgetting. She carried the weight of the encounter, knowing how easily it could have gone another way. If she hadn't been who she was, with the authority she held, the story might have ended with her life broken apart, or worse, her voice silenced forever. And that is the deeper truth. Maya's survival was not just about her courage. It was about privilege within oppression. How many others faced the same trap with no badge to shield them? How many names never made it into headlines, their lives rewritten by lies planted in the dark? This wasn't just one corrupt officer. It was a reminder of a system where power can twist reality, where skin color becomes suspicion, and where justice is too often selective. So the question remains, how many more ordinary nights must turn into battles for survival before change is more than a promise? And how long will silence protect those who abuse the badge, while voices like Maya's fight to be heard? Because until accountability is real, stories like this one will never truly end. This wasn't just about one officer or one woman. It's about a system where power can twist reality and where silence can be as deadly as the crime itself. Maya fought back, and she survived. But ask yourself this: how many others never get that chance? If this story moved you, don't let it end here. Share it, speak on it, and keep the conversation alive. Because change begins with voices that refuse to be silenced. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that uncover truths the world too often ignores.